My name is Gražina Kiselius. I lived in United States 31 years. I am born in Vilnius. I am Lithuanian. I lived in Florida, in Sarasota, and worked in the store, 24-hour store. And one night, I hear Lithuanian language. I saw a woman and man, and they speak with very big accent Lithuanian. Sure, I go straight to them.
So we met her last year in May. I was there in Florida, in Walgreens shop. So it's like randomly at night we came in, night shift, nobody's there, and we heard someone speaking in Lithuanian. So a young man and an older lady. So my boyfriend went to them and he said, "Did I hear Lithuanian?" She said, "Yes, I'm Lithuanian."
And I tried to sell them a coffee. She says, "No, thank you."
So I think, the bridge continues even internationally. So I feel part of Lithuania, and if I hear Lithuanian being spoken, I communicate with people.
And then she gave me a pack of coffee. When I next in the morning come home, I tried that coffee, 1, 2, 3. It was beautiful. Then I go on Google and check who is Eskedar.
My name is Eskedar Tilahun. It's very hard to put it this way, but I'm many things. I wear a hat of a mom. I'm also a businesswoman. I'm a refugee. I'm an activist. But I could say that what I do in Lithuania is I do business and I do social things, which is going out to public and speak about myself, my refugee history, story, how I got here. The Russian invasion, it's really hard to grasp the severity of how scared I was. I'm a woman and I didn't have menstruation for 3 months. It is when your whole body just went out of balance. I was scared for people who were there, in Ukraine, who were being bombarded, and it's unfortunate that it didn't stop. Today as well, it's happening. It was a scary internal conflict as well. What am I gonna do if war comes here too? We are just next door. And also I come from a country who goes through that, once in a while. So it's not the best place to be in general. I left Ethiopia in 2005, and it was after the uprisal of usually students start revolution. So I was a fourth-year student by then, and the government lost election, and they didn't want to give the power to the people. So they started shooting people, and then some of us hide in the church. And I realized with some of my group mates, we realized that, maybe we can fight from out of the country. But then the nearest country is Sudan. So we crossed the border illegally to Sudan, and then what happened is that we don't have, the permit to stay there. And then, of course, in Sudan as well, the civil war started, and then we had to run to Libya at the time of Gaddafi. And I spent 11 months in Libya, and then we have to run again. We ended up in Malta after 3 days, 3 nights on the sea, 4 days. It is a very interesting question. If I was afraid of, on being on the boat, if I was afraid or if I was happy, I didn't know what a boat was. I've never seen sea in my life before that. Imagine we were brought by car in the trunk, of a small car, to the seaside where people go on a beach, to have a swim. And then I see, this paper-looking item floating on this grandiose sea. And you're like thinking, all of us are going to that boat. And only 4 people had a life jacket on them. So one of them was me, my boyfriend, and 2 friends of mine. So that's it. From 26 people, only 4 people had a life jacket. And you understand then, if something happened, you cannot survive because nobody else is safe, you'll just, drown. So it was scary. The sound of the sea, I still remember. It was like a bit of a drum, It was scary all the way. It was scary when we were surrounded by sharks. It was scary when our boat started to crack, the side of the boat. Yeah. But then we made it to safety. 2 kids, Lezan, 3 years old, and a pregnant woman. That was me, 5.5 months. And the rest, we all survived. My first impression of arrival in Lithuania was like, today, I'm not afraid of cold, I love winter, but then I arrived like the last day of January and February 1st, midnight. I was not dressed properly. My baby was not covered properly. So I took off my jacket and covered her, and then I ended up with a short sleeve shirt, January 31st. You can imagine what it was. It was hard to imagine and understand how cold should be. That cold, you feel heat in your feet, It burns your feet. The cold burns. It's like, it shouldn't go together, It was a tough beginning, but I think in the hardest time, we realize our strengths. If you survive that, you can do anything. Coffee is a big part of my culture. The youngest girl in the house has to brew coffee. So at the age of 8, 10, you start learning how to brew coffee for your family. So I could brew coffee for my grandparents, and that's how I grew up. And even after I came to Lithuania, when my friends say, you should do this, as a job, as a business, I was like, no, this is just, integral part of my life, something I could give to my family and my friends, but this is not work. So only now I started monetizing that. Coffee means a lot. Coffee brings people together. I have people with refugee background working at my place. And I love that because it is the bridge you build between the society and the incomers. I have one employee, Alex. He's one of my best baristas. And not only the best barista, I see him as a brother.
I'm actually originally from Eritrea. I've been living here in Vilnius, Lithuania for like 2 years, plus or minus, something like more than that. I work here at Eskedar Coffee Bar. You don't even feel like she's a boss, honestly. It's more of like she's connected to everyone, which makes it easy whenever it's like, having to discuss or do anything with Eskedar. So it's more of like a family in a way, or more of like friends too at the same time, but at the same time not forgetting that she's the boss, you know.
If Lithuania is my home, it is. I've been here for the past 17 years, and it's almost half of my life. That's a lot for a person. And you can also say that I lived most of my adult life in here. So what I love about Lithuania is the person I've become. What I would say to governments who share borders with the Eastern Bloc, Russia, Belarus, I think it is true that some of the people that are sent through the border could be dangerous. I cannot, guarantee you that, it will be 10% or 5%. If anyone can come, right? It can be an agent, maybe it's not even a refugee from that, any country, but you can send anyone. Yes, it is very important to do background checkup. It is very, very important because I'm living in Lithuania because it's safe to live here. It was not that safe for me to live in my own country.